From the BBC, police given more time to question men over snack bar event threat. Yeah, just for if you're new, you can't say that word. They don't like it. So we'll just call them Mormons for this video. Just call them that. I mean, everyone picks on them, poor bastards, so it'll be fine. I have to point out before we start though, it doesn't matter how much time they give them. They can give them enough time. They can give them until the eventual heat death of our primary star. They won't be able to somehow make a bunch of blokes who are probably just having a bit of crack on WhatsApp into, a real life terror cell like the ones that keep on butchering hundreds of innocent civilians all across Europe, because they're following a different ideology than a bunch of old English pensioners having a bit of crack on the internet. Because that's exactly what this is. Oh yeah, wait till we get into the details. This entire thing, the entire arrest, no doubt, was organised by the state to take pressure off the fact that a nice old lady had just been murdered by a left-wing activist. So they went, quick, go and arrest some people and fit them up. This is going to be the biggest fit up, again, we'll get to it, but this is basically the biggest fit up since Jill Dando headbutted a 9mm round on a doorstep. Something to do with the Albanian mafia or something, I believe. The coppers didn't have any evidence, so they did what they always do and went, just go and find a local weirdo. And then old Barry George got pulled in, who everybody that was watching this whole thing on Crime-Watch knew within 5 seconds of looking at his picture that he wasn't guilty at all. Accusing him of Jill Dando's murder is like accusing Kate Moss of pinching all the pies off your windowsill. As she's purging her last 23-calorie meal, spewing her guts up in the downstairs toilet, none of it makes any sense. I'm going to tell you all about it now, and I'm sure it'll be great fun, because there's nothing more enjoyable than picking apart the cockamamie stories of the British coppers and the British state. It's brilliant. Whenever I do it, I feel like an amused headmaster being lied to by 3 or 4 of the dumbest children in his entire learning difficulties, chitty comprehensive, built out of asbestos on a nuclear site. So yeah, it'll be great fun, trust me. Before we start, I have to do some bollocks about the football, because that's on, isn't it? I'm sure some of you are going to be watching this. I guess by the time it goes out, it'll probably be about an hour before the match. Carlos Tevez said he refused to learn English because the Falklands War turned his uncle into an alcoholic. That sounds like a you problem, Carlos. That sounds like a you problem, son. Exhibit A. I went to war loads of times. Not an alcoholic. No. Sounds like if the military junta had done their job properly, which is, why do you think they torture you and sleep deprive you and physically harass you for months at a time when you actually get trained properly? It's to get you ready. It's to separate the wheat from the chaff and make sure the people that are weak of mind and body, there's no shame in trying and failing to win your Green Beret. But, it's fine. Then if you can't handle it, you go and work in a bank or on a building site. Just because the RGs rounded up a load of schoolboys, pushed weapons into their hands, and then threw them straight at the parachute regiment, don't come whinging at us, son. No, nothing to do with us. Also, don't pretend a bloke who looks like that can learn another language, because he is one gnat's pube away from being a full-blown cave dweller. Have you seen his teeth? Speaking of cave dwellers, his teeth look like the same ones you'd see on a necklace around a caveman's neck, so they've got a lot in common. Suffice it to say, I don't feel guilty about that, but that was just one of the many hundreds of hilarious stories that I've seen in the last 3 days. And the reason I'm mentioning it is because I like to bring you all up. It's a ray of sunshine, this channel. Remember, win, lose or draw, it's a win-win for the English, because if they lose, you won't have to sift through 2,000 dog shit cringe stories by the MSM every single morning about the football. I'm sick of reading it. I'm so sick of them taking over the news. I'm almost as chippy about it as Angus McTatty, boulder-shouldered Glaswegian council estate pisshead, right? I'm almost as pissed off with the English team as he is. So number one, it's good news if they go out. We won't have to read about that anymore. Number two, you won't have to get deluged with 10,000 stories about how diversity is strength. Diversity is strength. Definitely a good thing to import 30 million freeloaders because England play football now. as if the national team didn't exist in 1980 or win it in 1966. If there was 0 Africans in England, we'd still have an England team. If there was none of them, we could still find 20 or 30 blokes to play football. We've got 5 or 6 divisions full of them. So there you go. And if they win, I mean, I'll be mildly pleased that the team that I supported when I was a kid has gone through another round. So the point I'm getting at is, win or lose, we can win. It's all about having a positive mindset. So on that note, let's talk about some proper news, shall we? Right, this popped up today. I did a bit of digging. It's unbelievable. It is clearly a stitch-up. It's the biggest stitch-up since Bungle fell out the back of the van on the A19, and Rod, Jane and Freddie had to spend 15 hours sewing him back together. It's completely preposterous. I'll just read you it, and obviously throw in some ruthless piss-taking when it's warranted, which is pretty much all of it. Police have been given more time to question the men arrested in connection with an alleged... Should we zoom in on that? Alleged. Yeah. That's all it's ever going to be. Right-wing threat to a Mormon festival in Suffolk. Because Mormons are a pain up the arse, aren't they? Those pesky Mormon diddler gangs, above all those pesky Mormon free-range kebab shops. If it wasn't for them, I tell you what, there'd be a few 100,000 little English girls walking with a slightly less of a limp, wouldn't there? The UK event at Shrubland Hall in Barham near Ipswich was shut down early on Sunday after Suffolk police received information about a possible threat. None of this can be followed up on, can there? It's like when they sent out search parties to find someone who was offended by Count Dankula's pug video, isn't it? It's all nonsense. Received information. Who off? Was it the detective inspector's wife, perhaps? Maybe it was someone PC bastard's wife plays badminton with. I mean, no evidence, none required. It's the government. On Monday, CTP confirmed 12 people had been arrested on suspicion of offences, conspiracy to murder or assisting. Have you noticed? There's some key words there. Suspicion, conspiracy and assisting. It's weird because when the aforementioned Mormons do anything, all we ever seem to do with them is, scrape the body parts up, don't we? When someone like Salman Abedi redecorates the foyer of the Manchester Evening News Arena in a curious shade of brain matter grey, when that happens, all we can do is scrape the body parts up and then, play Imagine on a piano afterwards. But whenever they accuse red-blooded Englishmen of anything, there's never any scraping to be done. No, there's never ever a cold cadaver to look at. No, all you've ever got with them is alleged suspicion, conspiracy and assisting, none of which we ever see any evidence for. Very strange, that. Very strange. I wish the Nice truck attack or the Beslan school massacre was as neat and easy to clean up after as when angry Englishmen try to plot an attack, don't you? Oh yeah, and if you don't pay attention, those last two were also carried out by the Mormons. Professional liar Helen Flanagan said officers have been given up to 7 days to question. So this is what they're going to do to me, isn't it? Next time I fly home, 7 days in a cell because I dared be sceptical. That's a crime when you live on Airstrip 1, ladies and gentlemen. So these poor bastards, 7 days for talking on WhatsApp. Makes loads of sense. The only reason we all got on board with habeas corpus being suspended and the government stomping all over people's civil liberties was because, in the smoke of 9/11, we were willing to let a little bit of this stuff slide, but it was never intended for blokes like Count Dankula or Callum off the Lotus Eaters to end up getting dragged in when he lands up at the airport, and Craig as well. Yeah, quick shout out to Craig Houston. He just put a video up day before yesterday about how the coppers nicked him when he landed at the airport for no reason, because he goes on YouTube a bit. It's all a farce. And they leaked all the details to the press. That's what he talks about. As I said, none of this will come as a surprise to you because you watch my channel, but you're living in Airstrip 1, you can't believe anything the coppers or the government tell you, and most of the people that are unfortunate enough to be the same colour as me and Craig, that they haul over the coals for no reason, are being fitted up on fictional charges using legislation that was meant to deal with cold-blooded killers that had just butchered thousands of innocent people, and they are using that legislation to persecute comedians and blokes who say funny things on the internet. This is where we're at. So, if you believe these 8 people are actual cold-blooded killers, I've got a bridge to sell you. Look at the descriptions here. You've got 2 men in Surrey, 2 older blokes in Essex. Again, not really the demographic for stone cold killers. How many? I mean, you don't have to go through military training to know this. How many stone cold killers of any of the atrocities you can think of from the last 25 years? The serious ones, you know, that these powers are supposed to be used for. Lee Rigby, Manchester Arena, London Bridge, Nice, Bataclan, Beslan, Madrid train bombing. How many of them were over 40? How many? Well, I'm going out on a limb here because I haven't Googled every single one of them. I'm just going off my own knowledge. I think you'll find it's 0. In fact, I think anyone over about 35 is a bit too old for it, which instantly makes me sceptical of all of this. Bar and plot, what do we know so far? 3 men aged 55, 60 and 82. 82, yeah, geriatric swordsman. What are we doing here? I know all this from my training, right? They teach you what to look for, threats, recently shaved, sweating heavily, male predominantly, and always aged 18 to 35. That's what they teach you. Maybe 16 to 30 when you're in places like Afghanistan. I'll tell you what they never tell you, ever. You take the people who deal with this professionally, the IDF, the people who do this constantly, so they're the best in the world at it. What they never say is, you know, you really want to worry about, lads? 55, 60 and 82-year-olds. Yeah, your pensionable age men, they're terrifying. Terrifying. What's the 82-year-old going to do? Is he going to be like on Breaking Bad? He's going to come at me in a Stephen Hawking-style wheelchair, but he's strapped a few pounds of Semtex to it. Do the people coming up with this drivel take the entire British public for complete morons? It's hilarious. I mean, I should thank them for giving me constant comedy gold 24/7. If it wasn't for the fact the British bobbies are like the Keystone Cops, sorry, worse, the Three Stooges, right? I mean, I might run out of things to say. But when you're led by people like Rachel Reeves, oh, hang on.
She's a spastic.
Yeah, I haven't used that one for a while. I mean, she never talks about economics anymore because she's brain dead, so I don't get the chance very often. When you're led by people like that, genuinely stupid people, and all your senior coppers are genuinely stupid people because they don't promote anyone who's actually capable anymore, this is what you get. It's comedy gold, lads. I'm loving it. Also, a 48-year-old woman. Yeah, loads of them. How many people? Again, Google it. You find me a single mass murderer from any major terror attack in Europe in the last 30 years that was perpetuated by an 82-year-old man and a 48-year-old woman. What was she? His care worker, was she? Is she going to wipe his ass before or after he knifed someone? Answers on a postcard, please. As part of the investigation, residential properties and a number of vehicles were searched. Ooh, and 35 digital devices were recovered. They've pinched 35 digital devices off Callum when he got arrested at Heathrow Airport. So this is nothing. They can go around your house now and take all your digital devices on a whim. They can just turn up and say, oh, terror act, yeah, we suspect you're doing stuff. And they can ransack your house because you live in a police state and they're using laws intended to keep you safe from beardy weirdies who explode all the time. They're misusing them laws to just do as they please, to stomp all over your ballsack when you're less guilty of committing a crime as Mother Teresa. Although, let's not go down that road. I was going to contradict myself there, but let's not even bother. We are very aware that this will be concerning. No, probably not. No, if I was a member of that community and precisely no mass attacks had ever taken place on them, and we'd never once blew up a concert or squashed 400 of them with a truck, I don't think I'd be bothered at all. No, I think I'd feel safe as houses, thanks very much, because I read the newspapers. I mean, caveat, lots of them can't read. That's what happens when parents were related by blood long before they ever got married, and half of your siblings were delivered straight into a bucket because that's what happens when you make the Targaryens look chaste and virtuous. But if you could read and you were a member of that community, I think you'd know that in the last 30 years there has never ever been a single mass casualty attack against your community. So why would you be nervous? Why? Tell me. What you're nervous about? If it's never, ever, ever happened, what you're nervous about? I mean, I'm sure I can go through the Crusades or some shit if you want me to find an atrocity, but I'm just saying, it's never happened, and it probably never will. Why? Because the police and the government make this shit up, don't they? The event was described as an opportunity for reflection and spiritual renewal. Oh, really? Well, I've got something to say about that as well. It's an opportunity for reflection, apparently. But what do other Mormon countries, what do they think of this type of group? Well, turns out I can show you. Saudi Arabia banned Tablighi Jamaat and called it one of the gates of terrorism. Yeah, true story. Just to be clear, this group, Ijtima, it's the same thing. It's often referred to as that because obviously it's their language and it's just scribbles. It's hard for normal people to read and pronounce, but it's the same thing. So this peaceful group they're talking about is a Sunni movement, and it was called one of the gates of terrorism. The Saudis actually said in a tweet that the local preachers were directed to allocate the next Friday's sermon to warn people about it. They said, declaration of the misguidance, deviation and danger of this group, and that it is one of the gates of terror, even if they claim otherwise. Mention their most prominent mistakes, people. Yeah, mention their most prominent mistakes. But the BBC, I mean, who do you trust? Their fellow worshippers in a country that is definitely not hostile towards them, or the BBC? Because the BBC call it an opportunity for reflection and spiritual renewal. Well, it sounds like the Saudi Arabian government don't agree. So who are you more sceptical of, ladies and gentlemen? Armed officers were among those who went to the scene, even nobody was there with a gun. Nobody was there with a gun. There was no English people there that were armed. Nobody took a firearm. Sounds like they just rounded people up from a WhatsApp group. But they sent a load of armed officers because it caused a nice big distraction, didn't it? And then we didn't talk about the nice old lady who got her head bashed in by a commie psychopath, doubtless a member of Hope Not Hate. Because, they're allowed to talk about, fictional accounts of throwing acid in little girls' faces. They're allowed to do that. But if you make a quip on the internet or send your mates a WhatsApp meme, lol, you'll probably get nicked. And then they'll keep you in a cell for 7 days, because that's how it works in Airstrip 1. And then it finishes with a major incident was declared, even though there definitely wasn't a major incident because everyone was arrested in their own house. How was it a major incident? If I was wearing my dressing gown and I had my hand on my cock on my own sofa, how is it a major incident when I get arrested? How? A major incident is Arnold going through the police station with a pump action shotgun. That's a major incident. An 82-year-old man being pushed into his kitchen by his care worker and then getting arrested isn't a major incident. Thanks very much. And then we've got more on this story. Bollocks, bollocks, bollocks. 12 arrested despite none of them being at the event. Alleged threat leaves village reeling. Reeling? Really? Did one of them blow himself up in a post office? No, he didn't. He just got arrested in his underpants in his own front room. And Mormon event ended after possible threat. Possible. So there we go. I think we're done for the day, aren't we? I think we're done for the day, lads. That is the biggest pile of bollocks I've ever had the misfortune to read. 82-year-old men and 47-year-old women do not cause mass casualty attacks. If you don't believe me, read a newspaper, you ignorant twat. Okay? I don't care how many years you want to go back. You can check mass casualty attacks from in Europe. I'll give you the whole of Europe. From 1950 to 2026. And if you find me one where there was a 47-year-old woman and an 82-year-old man blowing up, knifing, or, I don't know, slapping people in a public place, you're a better man than me, Gunga Din. Well done, you. All right, that's me for the day. Let me know if you disagree, you think this is totally legitimate, and definitely not just the government and the coppers playing games with you, as usual. Please, if you can operate a keyboard, I know you seriously need your brain medicine if you think that, but if you can come out of your drug-addled haze and type a comment down there for me, please have at it. All right, I'll see you all tomorrow. Toodle pip. Cheers.